first topic here in the first podcast of the year. It's our predictions for 2024 in football. I'll be hinting mine. Breton will be hinting his own in the next podcast, episode 139. But yes, Breton, are you ready to hear my predictions?
I am. I'm very ready. Let's go.
Well, the first one is an extremely safe prediction. I believe Girona will be finishing top 3 in La Liga. Currently, they're equaled with Real Madrid at the top. They're 10 points ahead of Atletico de Madrid and Barcelona, and they beat Atletico de Madrid in extraordinary fashion with a late winner, and they are deserved. Girona deserves the position that they're on. Girona deserve the position that they're in because of the elite managing with Michel, the unique style of play he has with the team, the great structure at the top, making the scouting phenomenal with players like Savio, Artem Dovbyk, Alex Garcia, that's captain. So, yes, that is my first prediction, Girona being a top 3 team in La Liga.
Well, I really love that prediction because I want to believe that they're not a flash in the pan. And you can't argue with 19 games, right? I mean, this is half the season already. They're, tied in points or drawn in points with Real Madrid, and they have scored the most goals in La Liga. And to be honest, they're just so dang entertaining to watch, and a lot of that comes back to Michel. And it's made Michel already an incredibly hot commodity heading into 2024. And just like Xabi Alonso, it's going to be tough to hold on to him long term. And I believe Pep Guardiola has already come out and said, we already know the challenge that lies ahead of us to hold on to him. But you're right, like Savio, out of nowhere, I mean, could he be somebody that actually goes to the Copa America with Brazil? The Dovbyk and Saigankov with Ukraine. There's so many guys. Alex Garcia with Spain. I would love to see these guys really step it up. The only thing I'm going to do to pour cold water on that prediction right now is how bad their defending was against Atletico Madrid. It was pretty dang shocking.
True.
I mean, so is Atletico Madrid's. But when it comes down to it, if you're scoring 4 goals against Barcelona, and you're scoring 4 goals against Atletico Madrid, and you're scoring even 2 goals in a losing effort to Real Madrid, your only loss of the season so far, you're doing pretty well for yourself to compensate for that defensive, say, frailty from time to time. So I'm with you. I want to see that. I don't think that's as big as or unbold of an statement that as you think. I think that's still pretty bold right now because Girona is bucking all expectations in La Liga, and these are the types of stories I live for when it comes to football.
And the success of Girona shows what the quality of players they have. Alex Garcia, Savio, Artem Dovbyk, Miguel Gutierrez are all players that could play at the top in many teams. Miguel Gutierrez is already being hinted at top teams in the Premier League. This is a player with 56 matches in La Liga and for Girona, and he was developed at Real Madrid, La Fabrica. And I think there's a buyback clause. Clause. It's not 100% confirmed, but I think it's between 5 to 10 million to Real Madrid. So if Real Madrid managed to get that done, it's once again elite business. So, second prediction, I wanted to mention in this podcast Cristiano Ronaldo. And Cristiano Ronaldo is the top goal scorer of 2023 with 54 goals scored. He keeps on breaking records, this man. And yes, we're going to the Euros as one of the favorites, and currently he is the starter, deservedly so. He has more goals than all the forwards at Man United put out together. It's bold numbers. And a prediction, just because I'm mentioning, the top goal scorers of 2024, I believe, Haaland, Mbappe, Kane, and Ronaldo will all be there. The top goal scorers 2024, Mbappe, Haaland, Kane, Cristiano Ronaldo, and I think Mo Salah will be the 5th player. Or Victor Osimhen. But Lautaro is not making this decision very easy, Breton.
No.
But that would be my second prediction, the top goal scorers of 2024. And the third, I believe, this is a bold prediction. I'm going to go bold. I believe Bayer Leverkusen are going to win the Bundesliga. Xabi Alonso is going to break the curse of Bayern Munich, and he's going to break it, and he's going to Bayern Munich after that. I believe they're the favorites to land him after Ancelotti extended with Real Madrid. It was the best news possible that Bayern Munich could have gotten. So, do you think this is a very bold one? Do you kind of agree with it, Breton?
I do think it's pretty bold just because Bayern has gotten out of deeper holes previously, and they're not even necessarily in a hole as it stands.
I agree.
But I do agree with you. I mean, do Leverkusen, the way that they have played this first half of the season, deserve to lift the title and break the 11-year stranglehold that Bayern Munich has had on the Bundesliga? Dang right, Alex. The way that they have played has made me enjoy football a whole lot. The same way when, Bayern plays its best football. You can't help but, put the mic down and give a little golf clap to them. And Bayer Leverkusen has just created stars this particular season, and it has made us just smile at FC Wonderkid. So, with Victor Boniface, with Florian Wirtz, I don't know how they're going to keep this type of team together. January, if they can get through it without losing one of those major pieces, that's going to be huge. If they can add one, two, that's even better. I think another defender would be phenomenal for them. I'm with you in that sense. It's one of those ones I want to see come true. I just, with Bayern's track record, I don't know how viable it is at this moment, but my goodness, are they playing great football.
Well, but currently the best manager in the Bundesliga is hands down Xabi Alonso. I would pick him ahead of Thomas Tuchel right now. And if Xabi Alonso goes to Bayern Munich, I fully believe Florian Wirtz goes afterwards. And those two pieces would guarantee, in my view, keeping a Jamal Musiala, keeping obviously a Harry Kane 2-3 years, Bayern Munich, a Champions League contender consistently. With Xabi Alonso, Florian Wirtz, Harry Kane, all bold players. And even Eric Dyer. Did you see that? To go to Bayern Munich. I was shook.
I did.
I was expecting more Sporting, not Bayern, but it is what it is, right?
Even more shocking in that sense was Big Ange in that press conference that is going viral right now. Big Ange just being so dang right in what he says. But when asked if Eric Dyer could still leave, even with the injuries that are mounting up with Spurs, he goes, yeah, sure. Yeah, he can go.
It can happen.
I love it. I mean, he's confident in the squad he's got, and it seems like they know they're probably going to be getting Radu Dragusin over the line in the near future. That's something we'll talk about in a little while.
Yes.
But I love his assuredness, and I love his positivity, and I love him correcting that one journalist, basically telling him, like, the journalist asked, do you envision yourself, ever lifting a trophy? He goes, like, I have lifted a trophy. I mean, it might not be the one that you want me to lift, but I have lifted plenty of trophies here. And on top of that, the guy's like, wouldn't you feel lucky to do that? And he's like, it's not luck. You're not in football for luck. You're not in football for good vibes. So he is rapidly becoming one of my favorite characters, at least in the managerial space. With that said, Eric Dyer to Bayern was out of left field for me. That's for sure.
I definitely wasn't. I wasn't expecting that one. I was like shook when I saw this. This is another prediction I have too. Is I fully expect. I'm gonna go bold. I believe a Portuguese team will be going to the Europa League final. Benfica, Sporting Club Braga. We've seen a final in Dublin in the past in the Europa League between Porto and Braga. 100% Portuguese. But yes, I am very confident in the quality that we have in the teams like Benfica, Braga, and Sporting. Best player in the Portuguese league right now, hands down, is Victor Gyökeres. 29 goal involvements, 18 goals, 11 assists. The strength, the finishing, the way he combines with his teammates, a very intelligent forward. That 100 million release clause, I expect a top team to go and snatch him in next summer. He's too good not to get. And teams need strikers.
And then it makes you sad to think that him and Sweden will not be at the Euros this summer. But it's always that quick. It's always that quick reminder, excuse the cough, but it's always that quick reminder that you can find gems pretty much anywhere, even at Coventry City in the English Championship. And I had my doubts for sure, but obviously those were put to rest. The moment we sat in that seat and watched in the first 20 minutes, Victor Gyökeres, he had a brace in that match when I was in Lisbon.
Yeah. You watched
like
the first game of Victor Gyökeres in the Portuguese league. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember the last time I was in Lisbon, I believe it was right at the start of Antonio Silva's rise for Benfica. So I've been. I think you got to get me back there. We got to go, and maybe it'll be the rise of Rodrigo Mora when we take a trip up to Porto or something.
But you watched Enzo Fernandez and Antonio Silva play against Vitória Guimarães last season. It's true. And Enzo was such an engine at that time. And mentioning players like young players, this is the last one in which I'll give an opinion to. This is my last prediction in this video. That is, I expect Hendrik or Vitor Roque to be the star striker by the end of 2024 of Brazil. It must happen. It's not Richarlison, it's not Matheus Cunha, and it's not Gabigol. It's not Pedro too. It's Hendrik, Vitor Roque, or even a Marcos Leonardo that went to Benfica. They need to trust the youth desperately, in my point of view. And this is an opinion now. Fernando Diniz got sacked, deservedly so. 6 matches for Brazil. 3 losses. That is unacceptable. The way they were playing was shambolic, and the best possible replacement for Fernando Diniz for this Brazil national team. No, the best possible appointment for the Brazil manager is José Mourinho. No one would be above José Mourinho in that locker room. He would defend the players with everything he had, and they would respect his authority, in my point of view. People can say it would be a defensive style Brazil. Doesn't Brazil need a guy that would put the respect in that locker room on top of Neymar, on top of anyone? Look at Vinicius with Ancelotti. That is football heritage. And José Mourinho is football heritage. And for me, that would be the best possible appointment for the Brazil national team. Abel Ferreira is impossible because he's not going to leave Palmeiras. 2 Libertadores, 2 Brasileiros, 2 campeonatos brasileiros, and I think Mourinho, best Portuguese manager ever, best to go.
But not even to take Brazil, Abel Ferreira, not even to take Brazil into an expanded Copa America, into out of the hole that they're currently in, which is 6th place in CONMEBOL qualifying. I just feel like Abel Ferreira is not seeing the forest through the trees, if that's the saying. I don't know if that's actually correct. But Jose Mourinho, I mean, my only worry there is if you're going youth heavy, right? How is he going to deal with, say, the mild inconsistencies that Endrick or Victor Roque would bring? Because guess what? You just basically said one of my predictions for next week. And that is that I feel like, exactly, just to piggyback on what you said, I feel like if Vitor Roque and Endrick don't develop properly over the next 6-7 months, don't already take that ownership of the Brazilian national team or give be given that opportunity to take the reins of it, and I feel like Brazil will continue to underperform in 2024, and yes, that also means in the Copa America, and I'm going to say it right now, I feel like it's trending more in the direction that Brazil will stagnate throughout 2024 until that inevitable kind of glow up happens on the world international stage or on the international stage for guys like Endrick, Vitor Roque, Marcos Leonardo, and the others that are starting to break out. So I'm with you. I mean, Brazil has a lot of question marks around them right now. And it doesn't look good when Ancelotti, I know it's Real Madrid, and I know he's re-upping, but that was like rumored to be already over the finish line, was it not?
Yeah,
and it just kind of went away. And he then re-ups. And then Diniz is sacked, and now you're back to square one, and you're like 5 months away from a massive international tournament and continuing a World Cup qualifying campaign that has been absolute crap. There's no better way to put it. Absolute crap. They'll still qualify, no issues, but absolute crap from a team like Brazil, who should be much better.
I totally agree. And I love that Ancelotti got the extension. And he got the extension because Real Madrid are top of La Liga. Real Madrid won every every game in the Champions League. And Real Madrid have the best player in the world with Jude Bellingham because of Ancelotti, at least in terms of form. A midfielder with 17 goals scored this season. It's been elite. But tell us down below, do you agree with the predictions that we announced? And let us know the predictions that you want to see next week with Breton going bold. Now it's going to be your time to go bold.